Welcome, friend. Today's story is going to be about how the French, with just three cannons and diplomacy, were able to colonize India in the Battle of Madras. The French troops were gathering around the gates of St. George Fort in Madras or modern day Chennai. The natives' king's son, Mafuz Khan, was charging against them with 10,000 horsemen. The French cannon thundered in the direction of the incoming cavalry. The men knew the effects of cannons and were confident that they can take over the cannons before the second shot was fired. The first shot came and dozen men fell on the ground. The horsemen pushed towards the cannon. The second shot came in just 6 seconds. The entire native cavalry was surprised and thought the French had more cannons than they are supposed to have and started retreat. This was the first retreat by an Indian native ruler against a colonial European power. The improved French cannon was able to fire quickly and change the history of India forever. The colonial presence in India. The French, the Dutch, and the Portugal were the first to settle down in India under the approval of the Mughal Empire. The Dutch and the Portuguese Empire was to set up trading routes in the east and west coasts of India. For the trading post, they were paying an annual rent and a tax for the commodity being traded. The French and the British came a little bit late to the south of India, and the French started to set up their trading post headquarters in Pondicherry. Britain also tried to have her own trading post in Madras or modern Chennai, just 150 kilometers away from Pondicherry. Any act of hostility which happens right away in Europe was not affecting the trade post for a long time because the trade post was being under the control of Nawab of Arcad, and he said no fighting in my land. There was a change in policy. In 1745, France sent Dupleix, a new Governor General, to Pondicherry. Dupleix was a very ambitious person with the motto to eliminate Britain from India. Dupleix, on arrival, was coming with Labourdians, who was a very talented French Navy captain, and they also brought with him four French Navy vessels. The difference is that the French East India Company was completely funded by the French government, whereas the English East India Company was funded by a private company. So, being a private company, it was really difficult for the East India Company to collect arms, while it was easy for French East India Company to call upon the government to provide with them arms. With enough firepower in his arsenal, the Dupleix went to Nawab of Arcot for a deal. As France has just declared a war on Britain in 1746, the French East India Company wanted to invade Pondicherry and wanted to decimate the entire East India Company from India. In return, the Dupleix expected Nawab not to interfere with the invasion, and then he will hand over Madras to Nawab. Nawab Arcot was also not happy with the British as they were not giving proper rent to him, and also no proper gifts for him also. So the Nawab promised that he will just turn a blind eye on the invasion. With the green signal from the Nawab Harkad, Muhammad Ali, Dupleix was getting ready for a siege. This was a crucial decision made by Nawab Harkad, Muhammad Ali, because before this point he was the landlord and he was supposed to remain neutral. And making this decision, he was siding two big European powers against each other. And once receiving the positive sign from Nawab Arcad, Dupleix was laying siege on the Madras St. George Fort. The fort was constructed for a trade purpose and was not for military activities, so it was not able to withstand the siege. And also, the British Navy ships which were anchored on the Madras port were harassed by the French Navy, and they left the port uh, to avoid an all-out destruction of the British Navy in India. The French also sabotaged the freshwater line to the fort, and the fort surrendered in just 5 days, with the inhabitants transferred to Pondicherry. Now, Nawab of Arcot, with knowing that Madras has been won, sent his son Mafuz Khan to take over the city. Dupleix decided on another way. He refused to give Madras as promised. So Mafuz Khan came back with a troop of 10,000 cavalrymen, the best in the country, whereas the French had only 700 infantrymen. The French readied their cannons for the war. Cannons were not new to Mafuz Khan. Cannons were brought to India by the Mughal Empire and saw a wide range of uses in the battlefield. Even the Nawab of Arcad had his own cannon division. The Indian cannons needed 2 minute interval to fire consecutive shots. The delay in time might help the opposition to capture the cannons and destroy them completely. The French cannon were state of the art and can fire 6 shots in a minute. Mafuz Khan was not aware of this new French cannon firing it and walked straight into it with the troops. And in a few minutes, the men started to fall down for rapid cannon fire. In fear of us underestimating the number of French cannons, the native troops retreated. Mafuz Khan thought that the French had more cannons and they were able to fire rapidly. But actually, the French had only 3 cannons. The native soldiers on retreat were surprised by a reinforcement which was arriving from Pondicherry to replenish the troops already in Madras, and the Battle of Adayar started. The Battle of Adayar saw the first defeat of an Indian ruler to a colonial power, and Mafuz Khan escaped to Arcad on the back of an elephant. Aftermath. Madras was given to Britain as per the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle in exchange for Acadia in Canada. The enraged Nawab of Arcad now switched support to English East India Company, and the French East India Company supported Nawab's cousin Chanda Sahib to become the Nawab of Arcad. This decision led the two colonial powers on opposite side and the entire South Tamil Nadu in a civil war, also called as the Carnatic War, for the next 30 years. At the end of the carnage, Muhammad Ali retained his throne as the Nawab of Arcad, but with a massive debt, as the East India Company leased its troops for the war. The British got paid to eliminate their enemy by the Nawab. As the Nawab was not able to pay back his debt, he gave the rights to collect taxes under his jurisdiction to the English East India Company and started off the colonization of India officially. Thank you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.